Okay. So we're having a bit of fun with this, right? We're having a bit of fun. We've started this a few times now, so we're just going to let this roll. Otherwise, we'll just keep laughing all the way through it. So, 3 Doncaster lads in the room, in the studio, talking football on the basis that media management in the last few weeks has set on Duncan Milligan as the new company head of football. So to provide a bit of context, you'll have seen stuff with regards to football that's now on our channels. You'll see players scoring goals, we'll be sharing, there'll be in stories on Instagram, we'll be retweeting on Twitter, because we're moving into football. Okay, so first of all, welcome Dunks.
Thank you very much.
And Joe Leasley. And I'll explain why Joe's here shortly, but the format of today is we're going to have a brief conversation about media management and entering into football market, because like anything we do at media management, it's not just got a commercial purpose, we've got a charitable purpose to what we do as well. So, brief chat, have a conversation. These two will familiarise themselves more on the camera as time goes by. We were going to get Ollie B on the show, but he's currently sat behind the camera right now, smiling. He's been demoted, so all in good time. But yeah, okay, so football, in terms of where we're at, Dunks has come in as our head of football. We'll talk a little bit about the charitable side of it first, and the work we're going to be doing with Joe Leasley as well. So, Dunks, just want to give a brief kind of overview around the aftercare programme and some of the charitable work that you'll be leading on behalf of media management.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We've been chatting for a while now, looking at a project to sort of support players in their football journey. It was something that I feel when I was younger I had a lack of. I had a very, good supporting family, loving family, but probably were very naive to the football world. So it's something that I've always been quite passionate about, which has led to our conversations. Obviously with your means, we've been fortunate to look at some funding streams to be able to support young footballers and what their pathways will look, whether that'll be into first team football, whether that'll be into non-league football, into the working world and beyond really. So we're looking to work closely with a football club. I don't know, can I mention that?
Yeah.
So with Doncaster Rovers, they're primarily their second year scholars. We're gonna, with myself, yourself, Joe, Ollie, Sarah, Corby, we're gonna support them on their journey and hopefully provide them, avenues in football, but also outside of football.
So just on that then, so, and I'll get you both your views on this, because obviously you came through at Doncaster Rovers as a YT, didn't sign pro. Joe, you've had a different experience. You got released by Doncaster, bounced about in non-league, and then came into professional football. But with regards to an aftercare service, in terms of supporting individuals, as you say, in their pathway either into professional football, into the world of work, into further education, into employment, just give me a sense of why it's needed and the importance of it, especially in today's market.
Well, again, the first thing that comes to mind is mental health. Obviously, unfortunately, there's been players that have even gone as far as taking their own lives due to that rejection. So things like that, just can't happen.
Yeah.
For a game that we all love, it just shouldn't happen. My story is, like you say, I was at Donny Rovers, did 3 years at Donny Rovers, was told I wasn't going to be kept on, pretty much said, right, we've found you a non-league club, there you go, you need to be released from your contract. So naively, because I didn't have the support, I just signed a contract, waived half of my contract, and then went to play non-league that did alright. It looked like it was going well. End of the season, I didn't get a call back to come back the next season, so then it was like, what do I do now?
Yep.
And even, it's a culture shock as well, because you do, when you're at a professional club, you get treated like a star, and then you go into that non-league world and you go into, and no detriment to players that have done, great things in football, but you can go to play with painter, decorators, builders, you know, people that haven't gone through that professional system. So it's a proper culture shock to your pitches, the kit you get and everything. So it's support that I feel is needed. I think that we all feel is needed, and you know, we're in a good position because of media management to be able to offer that support.
Yeah. And Joe, your take on that?
Yeah, I think everyone that's in these youth team setups and these football clubs across the country have all got a skill set, all got a talent that's enough to be a footballer. What capacity that is, I don't know. Whether that's a semi-professional team, a conference team, a National League North team, a Football League team, Premiership team, everyone will have a skill set and a trade behind them that is there ready to move on. It's just whether they can deal with the negative effects that football can bring.
Yeah.
And I think the aftercare programme is so vital for that, because it's allowing people to understand that failure is alright.
Yeah.
It's going to happen a lot in football, and providing them with avenues, life experiences to help them gain confidence to keep on the journey and ultimately find the level that they are capable of playing at.
Yeah. And we won't go into too much detail about this today, Joe, because I know you're set to be launching your new company soon. But just give us a very brief kind of outline of what JL Resilience will do and what you're hoping to, working alongside us, but also independently away from media management, what that will look like in terms of your engagement with players and clubs.
Yeah, pretty much similar to what I've just said on the last little bit there, but it's mainly going into football clubs, you know, offering services, workshops alongside the aftercare programme at Doncaster Rovers, for example, where I can go in, speak to young people, offer a bit of a friendly shoulder to kind of confide in, because, you know, a lot of young people, they are timid around the football club. They don't really see the managers as the best friends, and they don't open up. And with mental health being as rife as it is in the game at the minute in the younger market of football, I feel like I can offer a service that can help these players and help them, you know, with the negative effects that football can bring on someone's mental health.
Yeah, great. That's good, and that's coming soon, and we'll be supporting Joe with that through not only media management, but also We Raise the Game in terms of allowing us to draw down funding to support the vital work that Joe will be doing. So that's a little bit about the charitable stuff.
Yeah.
There'll be other things that we'll be doing around football in the charitable space in terms of running kind of programmes of work through football and so on and so forth. But exciting time for us. We're excited. Media management as a whole is excited, so kind of watch this space. But in terms of the commercial space, so media management, as everybody knows now, we work in boxing, horse racing, cricket, rugby, golf. This weekend we've had Maxi Hughes, we've had Terry Harper retain and win world titles, so we're starting to kind of emerge in this commercial sporting landscape and really starting to do some damage. Not necessarily damage in terms of being difficult or a disruptor. I mean in terms of being able to support our clients to achieve what they need to achieve from a commercial footing. But when we set media management up 3 years ago now, roughly 3 years ago, like a lot of people did say, do you not work in football? And we didn't, and we made a conscious decision not to work in football, because we always knew as a board of directors that when we go into football, the timing's got to be right and the investment's got to be right, and it wasn't something that we could do on the side of the desk. So that time's now come. We made a decision probably around 6 months ago to make that investment, made the investment into Dunks. We've also, you know, we're located in the Eco Power Stadium at Doncaster Rovers football ground, and we're now starting to leverage off some of the experience that we've got in the world of football and the people that are around this work. So we are entering the formal kind of intermediary agency world, which I know comes with a lot of ill feeling sometimes. I think there's a general perception to the general public that agents very much take money out of football, and you can understand at the higher end of football why that perception's there, because the money doesn't lie, and when you see that an agent's earn millions of pounds out of a deal, then we can accept that. But where we're at, and our strategy, and I'll let Dunks talk about this shortly, is coming in probably at the other end in terms of supporting localised players, young academy players who are starting their journey. So we've got a strategy around this, and we've made the investment, and I'll let Dunks give 10 minutes of why and what that will look like.
Yeah, I think when agencies start, or you look at other agencies, there's this sort of process where they can almost just try and mop every footballer up. That's not our style, that's not what we're going to try and do. Talent's important, but also personality. We want footballers and young people that are going to represent the brand well. And I think that's where the pressure on me and Joe working closely yourself is that media management's got a well-respected name in other sports. We don't want to just come in and start doing things that people expect agents to do.
Yeah.
That's not our style. We're focusing on small numbers but quality, and hopefully we can supply that support through the channels of that pathway.
Yeah.
Whether that's someone that's starting with us at 16 to their managerial career, or coaching career, or like you say, work outside of football once their career's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're starting to have lots of good meetings. I think we're quite surprised with how many contacts we've had and how these meetings have gone, and we've been receptive, really well receptive. So yeah, it's exciting times.
And again, from Joe's perspective, so again, for a bit more context in this, Joe played for me and Richie Sennett, who've worked together in football for about 20 years. You came to us when you were about 16. You played for us how old were you have been?
Mid-20s, wasn't it? But again, that was another part of the journey that I was disillusioned with it.
Yeah.
Probably we were on
disillusioned with me?
Yeah.
Was that bad?
No, you got me back in it. But then Senate sent me out. But no, it was like
you needed the aftercare service.
Yeah, we were on a coaching badge. You were like, I'd been playing 8 hours of football on this coaching badge. You're like, do you fancy playing at Brodie tonight?
Yeah.
And I was like, remember, yeah. Got there, first 5 minutes, I was like, get me off now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But Joe, again, coming back to your journey in football, particularly keeping it on the theme of representation and having an agent that represents you, and a lot of lads in non-league football get a lot of bashing for having an agent, certainly at kind of step 5 or lower, and I get that. Look, it is what it is. But what people need to remember is ultimately, as an agent, we are working on behalf of the said player, and sometimes it's a lot easier for me or Dunks to have that conversation with a manager that's trying to negotiate a contract, or the head of recruitment, or even a club that's that's asking us for our services to get them out of the football club on loan somewhere else. But you've been in football a long time now, 15 years. 15 years?
Yeah, 12 years professionally.
12 years, yeah.
Semi-professionally, whatever you call it.
And give us an insight in terms of, your dealings with agents, and more so the importance of what you think, or not. You might be like, do it on your own, lads. Media management's a load of shit, just crack on. Or actually, it is important. So yeah, just give us a little bit of a.
Yeah, I think going back to when we first started the conversation around the aftercare and everything, we always talk about these pathways and these perfect little scenarios that can happen in football, but football's not always like that. It's not always going to lead to you go up the leagues and you end up playing, you earning thousands of pounds. So my experiences with agents, and represented all the way through, is that they're there for you. They are a part of the aftercare service. The intermediary is a part of their job, but it's more what they can bring to you as a person as well. The information that they give you over the phone, the contacts that they've got, they enable you to get into places. Because if a lot of young lads now that go off their own back, going back to what we said about having the skill set, you've also got to know the right people, and you've got to be put in front of the right people at the right time. Unfortunately, people don't have careers. I know a lot of good footballers, I'm sure you two do, that are in local pub and don't play anymore, or play for local Sunday side with bags and bags and bags of a talent, but probably just not been steered at the right time in their career when their stock was high, or whenever they needed to be put in right the right person, they've gone on their own, they've not had the right contacts, ended up at really low level, and then got, I've had enough now, I'm going to just come play with my mates.
Yeah.
You know, I've come across loads of people that got loads more talent than I've had, but have just not been in the right place at the right time. And an agent or representative helps you do that, as well as, you know, the other side that everyone sees of sign this and I earn that, because that's not always the case.
Yeah.
Like you said, Pogba's agent and people like that, it's a different level.
Yeah. Cool. And in terms of going back to the strategy, because you're leading this, Dunks, on behalf of Media Management, and it's certainly not a case of throwing out a fishing net to get as many players as possible, and just, you know, the players that we represent are a number. You're trying, or we're trying as a company, like we do in the other sports that we work in, to develop personal relationships with these guys.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's important because we've got, I think we feel we've got a lot to offer a young footballer, or even a more experienced footballer, because of our contact books, because of our previous history in football. So we feel we can go, first of all, watch these players. We can give them honest reflections on, you know, how they perform and stuff, whether they're at the right level, you know, what's the next step. We even feel we can offer them away from football something. So I think that's first and foremost what we're trying to do, develop these relationships. Obviously, we would like to start working with younger professionals coming through, but as Joe said, there's going to be stages all throughout, and each individual's journey will be different. So if you've got an elite footballer, touch wood, we'll have that elite footballer one day. But at the moment, we're coming into the market. We're trying to, like you say, get about, spread the word, but in a way of not being sleazy with it, not being like overly in your face. Come and have a chat, get to know us. We think we're very personable, and take it from there.
That's the sales pitch, guys. You heard it. Dunk said it. So look, this is us. This is us for the next kind of foreseeable future. We're going to be doing more content around football. We might get some of the players that we work alongside. We might even get Ollie Beegs on the show again. He might even fire up his non-league show. Who knows? But yeah, a little bit about who we are, what we do, and as we enter the football market, a little bit about what our strategy will be. But again, just to summarise, we'll be working in the charitable space with all the aftercare and football kind of programme work. And then we'll be working in the commercial space officially around player representation, brand, endorsements, digital. There you go.